Okay. Well, we were
Here,
talking
let's
about
let's
we were
do the
talking about
co-host.
the horse's power. Just brought to mind the time I did an exercise in New Mexico blindfolded. They drove us out, had no idea where we were going, and they take us out, and I can smell the pasture, and suddenly I hear the horses, and suddenly we're up by the horses, and then we mount the horses blindfolded, and to feel that power
Mhm.
and trust it was just an amazing, amazing feeling.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
This actually last week I had a friend visiting from New Zealand who I hadn't seen since those teen years. And we got to go to a barn and step into that barn of sweet smelling hay and have my hand licked by the horse and bury my face in its neck and breathe in that horse smell, and it was pretty, yeah, they're awesome.
Mhm. Yeah.
I used to go trail riding for probably 10 years, and it was one of the most wonderful times of my life. I loved it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that in the Kananaskis?
No, it was like north of Calgary, the Yahatinda, and
Oh,
places like that. And there's the Griffin Valley Ranch, which is just west of Calgary. And I used to go out there every weekend for years.
mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And it was great. And I always had a really wonderful time, except the one time when the horse tried to kill me, and that wasn't so much fun.
Yeah. There are those times.
Way over here. Yeah.
Yeah. I had the strap break and the saddle just go over sideways
Oh,
No.
and end up in the ditch.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's such amazing power. Wow. Yeah. So our Sabian symbol for this moon, I posted that, and we're at Taurus exact 24 degrees. And it's the mounted Indian. So he's on a horse,
Oh,
surprise.
yeah.
And he's carrying scalps.
Hmm.
So I watched James Burgess's videos, and I tracked it, and it's amazing. This moon, of course, being conjunct with Uranus, it's following the same path that Uranus has been following for quite a while. So it was like this microcosm of the moon for the macrocosm of Uranus. And wow, and then it's the soul expressions. I've seen those for the first time that Burgess sets up with them around the zodiac. And these 5 degrees within this, like from 22 to 26 or 25, is authority. And that's certainly happening now. So I was
Say
quite
more
intrigued.
about authority.
Pardon me?
Say more about authority.
Well, I made some notes, and it would be in the where we are now at the 24 degrees. It's channeled aggression,
Oh.
and it's command, and it's controlling the application of aggression.
Hmm.
So the leader needs appropriate amount of assertion over a problem. And the previous degrees leading up to it were like the white dove over troubled waters. So that's seeing the signs. The white dove is seeing the signs. And is it stillness or is it movement? And making a decision, yes or no. And if it's a maybe, it's a no. And then the 23 degree is a jewelry shop. And that's making nature more beautiful, more useful, like creating jewelry or being a gardener and leaving the trees, but cutting away some brush that's choking things off. And then this degree that's in between Taurus and Uranus is 25, which is a large, well-kept public parks. And that's group coming together and making a difference.
Mm.
And that's in between in the conjunction. And that just brought to mind, because it's Uranus and this is a big part of the lightning path. I thought, oh, this large public park is probably the Neptune project that Dwayne has started, and we are part of in the lightning path. So it's sharing the big projects with authority. Of course, Uranus is the urge to be free, somewhat rebellious. And Uranus is sitting at 2517, which is a Spaniard serenading a señorita.
Now, where do we see that one coming up?
Well, that's at 2517. That's Uranus. And of course, the moon will move into it. But that's acting appropriately. And Burgess was sharing how we're seeing how maybe we're not acting appropriately, like in terms of the codes of war. And that's where the authority is not acting appropriately. And then, of course, after the video is completed, then it goes to his next one about Pluto in Capricorn 30. And it's the secret business conference. And if I look at the macro state of the political world, it's like, and he mentions like it's the selfish elite. And they're,
Steve?
yeah, I'm just about done.
Yeah, I want to say something.
Yeah. And so it's a balance between these, what he's claiming is dark and the light, and that we need to create our own secret business conferences as the light workers. And the question is, where is my attention?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's a big thing. I can get drawn off. Growing up kind of in a political environment, I go, oh, wait a minute. I'm aware of it, but I don't want to get hooked into it. It's so easy. It's just such a consuming energy. So that's what I discovered in the Sabian symbols.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah. Barbara?
Yeah. it was about what you mentioned, how to see the signs. I have my best friend. She has lots of cats, and her favorite cat is dying. So it's a very, very difficult emotional situation for her. If she should sort of get rid of the cat via doctor, or try another week or 2 weeks or whatever to not kill her pet, you know. And she was asking me, well, what should I do? And I said, well, look out for signs. So you mentioned that we have to look out for signs. We have to formulate a question by saying, hey, universe,
Mhm.
what is the decision I should make for my pet? Because I don't know if I should or I shouldn't. So she went to the veterinario. I say it in Spanish because it comes easier.
Mhm.
And there was one other friend I also know, and she said, oh, I cook for my cat, you know, because of whatever, you know. And she got the first sign, and then she got another sign. I forgot what it was, but two signs that that this cat could live on for another month or so. And if she's putting energy in to keep it and to sort of have time to disconnect from this favorite animal, and it's her favorite animal, it reincarnates always again. And I said, yeah, just let it go, and you know. But then I also saw that this bond sometimes needs to be a learning process where you sort of finish something. So she has this huge emotional connection with her cat, and it has to wait until the moment comes where the divine energy or the higher energy says, now this soul can go. So and I also got this input by saying to her, I think your cat wants to stay until the Pluto is going into Aquarius, because then the reconnection is going to be easier. Isn't that crazy? I mean, this is crazy stuff. I only can talk here. So I wonder what you feel about it.
Well, when I saw that or heard it, it's like this, the Uranus and this urge to be free.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't think I shared that, of course, Taurus is around money and land and possession.
Mhm.
So we're possessing things. And sometimes we can get possessed
To
with the
keep that animal
possessions,
one.
with the possessions. And then it's even harder then to let
No, no,
go.
no. I think they have like a real soul that always this cat always comes back in another cat. So she
Mhm.
has this relationship since ever with this cat. But now, since we have this really peculiar situation in the stars, and it's such a
Mm.
split, you know, because we leave this old century behind, and we can put our step right in there now. First step into Pluto in Aquarius, because it's going to be so different that if this cat maybe goes earlier, then it didn't make the jump into the new timeline, let's say so. And to find them each other again, it's easier because then it's not getting lost in, because I don't know what's happening with the last century, where it's gonna go. You know, the last century like I imagine that it's going to be restored in the Akasha records, you know. It goes maybe slowly, but it goes on another place. And then to reconnect is maybe different. I don't know. It was just a strange feeling I had that it's not time yet because of that, to be able to reconnect. The timing has to be also cool. It also has to be astrologically perfect.
So the sign is telling you no.
Yeah, she has to keep pushing it. And there's also like I mean it's very medical because the veteran also did clean the blood out, so and he gives then also like some injections. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but somehow I also was sort of tuning into it for her to see why she has to do it.
Mhm.
Or why this is necessary. First I thought, okay, she's not that needy. She lets go any kind of cat easily. It's not an emotional too strong attachment. It's
Attachment.
more like meeting again. It's like in the right time to leave and then be able to meet again, because then they are on the right timeline. So maybe because we talked about this jump we have to make from one timeline to the other, that's what Dwayne is talking about. Since a long time we're talking about it, that everybody has to make this jump into the new world. Well, I don't know how you see it. It's would be interesting if you have some information there. Or
You're
the pet
asking,
lovers,
you're asking
the pet.
Dwayne. You're asking
I don't
Dwayne?
know who. I mean, who has pets, you know? It's like a thing with pets. And Dwayne has his dog. I mean, his dog was also very
Oh,
attached.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you just posted about that too, Dwayne.
Yeah, there was that opportunity to repost something that happened a couple of years ago, which was a lot of
The ice skating.
Yeah, ice skating.
Mm.
When it comes to her death, I think I shared the story of that before with the group here, but we were in the place of, uncertainty, what to do, what's appropriate. And we found ultimately that the more we backed off and just let it be, the better it felt. It just felt so well, and it became a real gifting as far as I'm concerned. Her last, her last 2 weeks, I mean, I was just completely connected with her and went through those like 10 days, just letting go, letting go. We had early in that process, we were still trying to, haul her in the house um, out of the cold, and all the, I mean, she's a heavy dog, and right away we knew that was not the route to go. Um, we just let her be outside in the yard, and she picked her spots, and she got progressively closer to the tallest tree here, this big um, pine that we have, or spruce. And once she settled in there, it was clear that she was just going off peacefully, and that it was a process. It was a natural process, different phases and stages. And I just felt totally riveted to her process, and I gained a lot, really did. Well, I think as we said here the last time I shared about this, I want to go the way she went, She was not complaining about anything. She was just really at peace. I could see that she was observing and checking in, this is what happens now. And then, and now you burp out all this stuff, and then the next day it's different. And it was just an amazing, amazing process. And I really think that she was very conscious in choosing where she actually went for those last couple of days, and that was under that big tree with her rump up against a rose bush. I mean, it was glorious, really. And we really, yeah, it was about letting go, letting go, letting go.
My cat went like that too.
Oh, beautiful.
And I was thinking, yeah, I'd like to go like that too.
There we go.
You know,
Right on.
I wouldn't, yeah, that's it.
At new moon, I set a wee intention to connect more deeply with the mountains here that surround me. And we've got 5 prominences here, all gathered together. And what that means for me is like paying attention each day. Like in the morning, I check in with, okay, what's my intention for this moon cycle? Well, oh yeah, it's the moon, the mountains. Well, so that started me feeling into the chief here, and then down from the prominence into the waterfall region. A couple of years ago, I discovered by going down into the depths of the ravine there, I found this one spot that just really spoke to me. It just said, this is like the center of this whole enterprise that you're engaged with here. It was just, it had an aroma that was different, and it had the quality of the stone was different. And it spoke to me. And so there I was in my current era, exploring that in my memory. And then that started to trigger other memories of mountain encounters that I've had. And of course, I ended up on this quest to bring forward all of this stuff that I was perceiving as memory. So I do have a presentation. I got totally,
nice.
It just came in on me like that, and the whole American election and Bitcoin going through the roof and all of this. It's been a heck of a dynamic couple of weeks. So if you guys are up for it, I'd be happy to make the presentation.
Would love that.
Yeah, please. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Great.
Well, that at the new moon, the Sabian symbol was that comrade dinner, right?
Right.
And
Oh, yes.
I really felt that. And I sent out my moon mails, and I had quite a few people respond saying, "So, comrade, it was some really neat conversations that went." And so to me, the full moon is always, a culmination of what we intended at the new moon. So the whole comrade dinner and connecting with our loved ones has been on my mind for the last few weeks, and I had more this morning, responses from moon mails that I sent 2 weeks ago,
Nice.
calling me comrade.
Wow.
Back and forth kind of. And so I think that the Sabian symbol that you talked about, Steve, about the 25th degree, the park, right? And the park has room for a lot of comrades.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going in any park, you're always going to see a little group here, a little group here, a little group here. There's all kinds of little groups, but it's part of a bigger comrade kind of thing. And so that's today. That's wonderful.
Yeah, they're enjoying that beauty.
Yeah.
And it's possible to make it better, like to keep it up, to keep, the upkeep of it.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thought of making nature more beautiful. and looking at the jewelry shop or the beautiful gardens that are, I mean, it's nature, but it's been created by humans in a garden form.
Mhm.
And
It's one of my very favorite things in the whole wide world is gardening.
mhm.
Still out there, even though the main gardening season's over, but deadheading things and moving things around, picking up leaves. And
Yeah.
there's such a joy in that, such a joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a connection.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, so Uranus has been moving through all of that as well. That's amazing that it's with this conjunction. It's
I feel such a connection to everything everybody's saying. It's like I don't know where to start, or like it would be too much. It's like outside I've got all the dead leaves that I think are beautiful that are mulching in, but what do I take away? The ferns that pop up throughout the year are dying, so they need to be pulled and composted and I don't know, there's just everything that everybody's talking about, the comrades, the community, it's all feels like my life is very in sync with everything that's happening, and I'm grateful to be part of the sharing. So thank you all.
Yeah. Good to have you on board there, girl.
Mhm. That's what I was finding in reading it, going from one degree to the next degree, and I'm going, looking through this filter of the Sabian symbols, I'm going, this is what's going on.
Sabians are us.
This is what's happening.
And I watched what you posted yesterday and made notes as I was watching it because I learned through notes. I just, yeah, it was perfect.
That
Perfect.
was watching the video.
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah. So
It's neat.
absorbing all the details and
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's many details. There's like, and then some things jump out that really seem to apply.
yes.
So over the years, I've read stories about people going to their cabin in the woods and watching funny movies and healing their body through that, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So at the last new moon, the comrade ship, we ordered a bunch of like Monty Python and Faulty Towers, and so we've been binge watching these British comedies. I can honestly say that I'm feeling lighter.
Ah,
Yeah.
Every night when we watch one of these crazy, like where are their minds, right?
Yeah.
They're so wonderful. And then, you wake up in the morning kind of, wow, that was great,
Yeah.
what's next, right? And so we just got the whole series of Blackadder, which is another British comedy with Rowan Atkinson. And I've seen it years ago, but it's like these people are insane, right?
Hmm.
But they're very healing,
Yeah.
very healing. So I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah. It's that unbridled creativity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And, we were watching one of the Faulty Towers one. We thought, man, you could never get away with that today. You would be in jail.
Yeah. Always look on the bright side of life.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Love that one.
Yeah. The life of Brian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Poor Brian.
Yeah. Poor Brian. Well, I had this one image from Faulty Towers that kept coming up in my mind, and it was at the end of the hour, the bad guy, well, the stupid guy, got a pie in the face, and that's a cliche, right? But then the Manuel, who is the sort of the helper, opened up his briefcase and poured a jug of milk into it. And I thought, I would love to do that.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, I came across one episode just the other day. I was watching it, and how he ran up and down the stairs on that set.
Yeah.
John Cleese with his long legs, and he would just run at full speed down through the stairs and around the corner.
Oh yeah,
It
pretty
was amazing.
pretty great.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Well, what about Bob?
What about Bob?
That's one that Teresa and I watch every now and then. It's just hilarious.
That's with Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with
And the psychiatrist.
I love that. Okay, thank you for that. It's time to watch that again.
Yeah.
I just wrote it down.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right, that humor in the cabin is so healing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Changes our
And,
chemistry.
It does.
Mhm.
You can feel it, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll keep doing that and having a good time with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Jackster the Jester is liking what you're saying.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Your puppets are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
They are so amazing.
Yeah. They are fun.
And I was going to do the master call tomorrow with that, but I can't. Something else has to take priority. But I've been watching the videos and some of his presentations. And anyway,
Mhm.
love what you're doing and what he does with his
Yeah.
life and connecting with people. And
Yeah, I feel very fortunate to participate in that.
Mhm.
We'll let Dwayne get on with the
Yes.
presentation. I love this image.
Isn't that well?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It looks like the tribe. There's a lot of scalps coming out of its head.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Any guesses where this is from?
Well, it's got the 4 directions and some quadrants.
Right.
Russia,
From Russia.
ancient Russia.
Oh, okay. So there's I should have known by the kind of stunted Siberian growing pine tree,
That's right.
spruce tree,
Hmm.
northern forest. Wow.
So,
And there's a submarine and the
oops, I'm just going to try and get this.
oh,
Very cool.
hmm.
Well, let's check it out. So once again, I'm presenting you with the inner structure of the lunation cycle. And, over the years, I've become more and more conscious of each of these sectors. And I really feel it's been a boon to my creativity, because I tend to, when I get onto something like a creative project, I can often get a little bit taken over by it, and I get out of balance in my day to day. And the lunation cycle has always reminded me to pay attention to the current stage, because it's different than it was last week. If you want to stay in harmony with the cycle, you're going to have to say reel things in, or conversely, if it's like at the emergent stage, it's time to venture out, and so on. So I always encourage people to really get conscious about the cycle, and it'll serve you. As Rudyard, he's the one that taught so many of us about the lunation cycle. And it's a key. It's a key to all worlds when you start looking at the fractal principle, where you can take the structure and change the scale, or whatever scale you want to take a look at things. And that's very helpful, in especially if you're interested in analyzing changing cycles in society and over decades and over centuries. This tool can be applied to help bring awareness. So when I first got into it, it was in 1972, and I instinctively felt the urge to create a journaling format for myself. And that's really helped me keep on track over the years. And I have this tremendous resource now of my journals from all these years, and they're all digitized now as a result of the big fires that we had around us here. I realized I wouldn't be hauling my journals out of the house at the last minute. So I've spent many hours digitizing, but it's been great because now I can just race through the decades and at the flip of a fingertip. So another practice I encourage. So at our the last lunar cycle, number 32, we had someone new show up. And there she came.
Oh my goodness.
And she brought this symbol and presented it to us. And I didn't say much at the time, but it was like a lightning bolt.
And here it sits beside me.
Very good. We are totally in sync here.
Got the shivers down my legs and
right on. So here in the language of astrology, the symbolic language of astrology, we have representing moon, sun, and earth, these three symbols plus all the rest. But I just wanted to make sure that you were aware that the astrological, the widely used, I think not only in Western astrology, but in Eastern astrology, I believe they are using the same symbol, this 4 directions cross for the earth. So just keep that in mind as we now look to the Hopi nation. This is their flag, basically. And there it is on Brenda's drum. And
it's actually not, sorry, it's actually not a drum. It's just on a
plaque.
Right.
On a plaque. And so I taught a Mandela course over several weeks, and through those weeks, everybody collected stones that called to them. Anyway, so it's not a drum, but it could be a drum.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful symbol.
Very earthy.
It totally resonates with the Hopi, as far as I'm concerned. And this is their, what goes along with that 4 directions cross. The shield symbol with its 4 circles in 4 quadrants means together with all nations, we protect both land and life and hold the world in balance. So if you're not familiar with Hopi are located in the 4 corners area, and they consider themselves to be the sacred, or the stewards of the North American continent, the spiritual stewards. And they have a teaching from their spiritual guide of the ancestors, the Masao, I think it's called. And there are traditional Hopi that still to this day are living by the teachings that were delivered to them, 1,000, 2,000 years ago, I don't know. And those teachings are still alive to this day. So there I was encountering your image there, Brenda.
Wow.
And then making the connection to the Hopi shield. And then if you recall that the symbol from Russia had the same 4 directions, 4 quadrants symbol.
Yes.
All of these things started to mount up, and it really took me on a little bit of a trip through my personal engagement with Hopi. And so here we are. I've never been to Hopi land. I would love to go sometime, but Hopi called themselves Hopitu Shinumu, meaning the peaceful people or peaceful little ones. Traditional Hopi continue to live by a sacred covenant made with the deity Masao. As a result, they continue to live lives of humility, compassion, peace, and respect. Now, it's important to note that this is the traditional Hopi we're talking about. Just like in any large culture, you're going to have some polarization of values. You're going to have traditional Hopi letting go of their traditional roots and taking on all of the accoutrements of modern society and so on. But in the midst of all of that, we still have this core group of people living according to the ancient teachings. So here, I love this image. I mean, there they are dancing around the 4 directions circle. And they have what is known as prophecy rock, and the Hopi prophecies are really quite remarkable. Prophecy rock is seen as a repository of Hopi wisdom, where ancestral knowledge and prophetic visions are preserved and transmitted to future generations. The site is used for meditation, reflection, and ceremonies that seek to align the community with their prophetic insights and spiritual obligations. And over the years, I've encountered, like this image on the right, that's kind of got the whole prophecy that is on the rock at the left. It's in, where we can kind of see it a little easier. And we see down that central channel, there's our 4 directions cross again. And it just keeps coming back. It's at 2 places on that image. So it's really a fundamental ground of awareness that we're connecting with when we really connect with that shield symbol. The Hopi prophecy of purification. As Hopi spokesman Thomas Banyaka explains it, the day of purification is a time prophesied by their ancestors when the earth and all life on it will undergo a profound cleansing. It is a moment when humanity is called to return to balance, to recognize the sacredness of all life, and to purify itself from the harms inflicted upon one another and upon nature. In the Hopi view, the earth itself will renew and heal, as all things are interconnected. What happens to the land, the waters, and the skies also affects human beings. The day of purification serves as both a warning and an opportunity. It reminds humanity of the need to live in harmony with the earth, to respect the natural order, and to honor ancestral wisdom. According to Hopi prophecy, humanity has strayed from this balance, pursuing paths that harm the land and each other. If this path continues, the day of purification will bring upheaval as the earth responds to restore balance. Yet it also holds hope, inviting each person to live in a way that respects life and honors the Creator. Though this time may bring challenges, it is ultimately an opportunity for transformation. The day of purification invites people of all nations to heal past divisions and remember the spiritual bonds that connect all life. With reverence, gratitude, love, and respect, humanity can navigate this time of purification in a way that renews both spirit and the sacred connection to all living things. This is the Hopi way, and their hope is that humanity will heed this call to return to balance and walk the path of peace.
Mm.
A statement from one of the elders: the degree of violence involved in the purification will equal the prevailing degree of economic and political inequity and violence toward nature. The dualistic gap of man's separation from man and from nature will be closed. Rich and poor will find themselves leveled in the struggle to survive.
Mm.
So I first became aware of Hopi in 1980 or 75, and it was right around the same time that someone had posted to the East-West Journal a Hopi letter to the president, Richard Nixon at the time, and I've been thinking I might just make a copy of this and send it to President-elect Donald J. Trump.
Hmm.
It's a message that's as important today as it was back in the 70s. But the 70s was a time when the environmental movement really came on. There were a lot of gatherings that brought people together to learn about traditional native wisdom and so on. And this man below Nixon here this is Thomas Banyaka, who I became associated with through a networking group out of Los Angeles. And what Thomas and the Hopi presented to me and to others around the world was an opportunity to come together by the full moon of June in 1976. They conducted the ceremony, a global ceremony, from Jericho Beach in Vancouver. And this image evokes that. This, of course, is an AI image, but I think it catches the spirit of the time. While people were gathering here at the exact time of the full moon, I was climbing Mount Yamnuska, west of Calgary, with 18 other people to link up at the exact time of the full moon. And it was an extraordinary experience. In the spring of 1976, a globally synchronized healing ceremony for planet Earth was held in Vancouver as part of a worldwide wave of spiritual gatherings addressing urgent environmental and spiritual crises. Timed to coincide with the full moon, this global ceremony was organized by Hopi spokesman Thomas Banyaka, who called on people across the world to come together in a unified intention of healing for the earth. Simultaneous ceremonies took place across different continents, each gathering infused with local traditions, prayers, and rituals, all aimed at fostering a renewed commitment to protect and restore the planet. In Vancouver, the event brought together Indigenous leaders, spiritual teachers, and people from diverse cultural backgrounds who joined in shared prayers, ceremonies, and healing practices centered on unity, peace, and a profound reconnection with nature. This gathering encouraged reflection on humanity's relationship with the environment and called for sustainable and respectful ways of living in harmony with the earth. Indigenous leaders shared their wisdom and prophecies, underscoring the urgency for people to return to traditional ecological knowledge and practices, drawing upon the rich heritage of Indigenous teachings. These ceremonies occurred around the world, reflected the rising wave of environmental and spiritual consciousness in the 70s. As environmental movements gained momentum, spiritual perspectives on ecological stewardship became more visible, led especially by Indigenous communities. The Vancouver ceremony and the simultaneous global gatherings reinforced the belief that spiritual healing and environmental protection are profoundly interconnected, inspiring a unified call for humanity to embrace its role as caretaker of the earth.
Mhm.
So there we are, Mount Yamnuska in the background. The
Mm.
basic message from Hopi: we need prayer, ceremony, and the heart. We can keep weaving those three things together. We're on our way to healing our relationship with the earth. So in our gathering, you've got on the right Don Mabey, who is also known as Chuck Steak. He has an artistic persona. And Chuck and I got involved in the healing ceremony. And his contribution was to create a global male art event. So in fact, he did this over 3 years. And in this first year, he had put out the call for people to join us in spirit and to send something that connected them to our little gathering. And one of the things he got was some soil from a fellow in Germany. And the soil was placed at the site, and he did a declaration as well. And it was just beautiful. We weren't at the very peak of the mountain. We were at the second one, or the first one down, if you're looking at this background image. So it was really a wonderful encounter with nature. We came down by full moon because we went up in the evening, and yeah, the experience that I had was so profound that I made on the spot a declaration of intent to annually do something at this site in honor of what we were initiating at that time. And so for virtually the next 25 years, I did that. I did an annual earth healing ceremony and had just the most incredible journey with folks in that time. This was a write-up that Chuck Steak did, some of the photos taken from our journey. And it was really a special time. It really was. And make this place a place of power, the power of our consciousness. And this is so in harmony with what we were speaking about back at New Moon, about the mountain spirit, the Apu. And I really felt connected to that mountain, which I had been connected to all through my teenage years. It was a real reference point for me, especially on our journeys up to go skiing. So to be doing this sacred work on the mountain was fabulous. So in 1987, we had the harmonic convergence. And so here we are in the presence of Mount Yamnuska at sunrise on harmonic convergence. And, this group joined me for the celebration, and there were people all over the world doing the same at sacred sites. It was really an exceptional time, and I'm looking forward to more. So number 7, according to the Maya, number 7 corresponds to the heart of the mountain. So there's this sense, just as there is in Peru, that the mountains have an indwelling spirit, and that it is possible for us to resonate with that spirit. And the resonant process, resonance process, brings in the number 7 and, of course, the 7 chakras. And the kind of work that we're doing with healing ceremonies like this, global ceremonies especially, is crown chakra, ceremonial work. This is your spiritual ceremonies that bring people into convergence, and the energy from that, descends from the 7th chakra down to our root, and down to our root is there we find the 4 directions crossed. Now, just a few examples of this the 7-headed serpent that we have with Hunbats there. He writes about that in his book, and we're talking about kundalini. This is the kundalini power, and in different countries and different cultures, it has its own unique expression. But fundamentally, we're dealing with the number 7 and the 7 chakras. So as I was saying, the Peruvians speak of this as the Apu. Apu is a term from the Andean spiritual tradition, particularly in Peru, referring to powerful mountain spirits or deities that are considered sacred and revered as protectors and ancestors. These Apus are believed to hold immense spiritual energy and are often honored in rituals and offerings to seek guidance, protection, and blessings for the community. And just in the last week, Steve posted an image and a video from this. I forget what you put beside the image, Steve. I think, but the indication was here's an Apu entry point. And what we have here is one of the peaks of the Grand Tetons in Wyoming. And this fellow went up with solo and got video footage of this particular spot, which is one that had been discovered before, but he did it for the modern era. And when I first saw this, I thought, oh, bang on! This is like an energy, a portal of entry into the spiritual dimension of this mountain range. Really, such a spectacular alignment of peaks here. I think, as I also mentioned back at New Moon, this notion of a Teotihuacan, it was it's my feeling that the pyramids themselves were designed to bring our awareness into resonance with the mountain, this Cerro Gordo in the background, that through particular ceremonies of resonance, people can be healed, people can be go into receiving all kinds of messages and information and energy. So we have this, I just felt that this petroglyph from 5000 BC from Russia, from Caucasia in Russia, he just wanted to be here.
Mhm.
And as we see, there's your 4 directions shield, Hopi shield, right there on his left arm.
It just surprised me seeing myself pop up in the corner there.
Yeah, and this is the thing. It's like a continuity. Once we've grabbed hold of this root chakra symbol, it's showing up like there we're on the right. We have a contemporary Mayan shaman creating. These are all incense balls I'm forgetting the name of their incense, but getting ready for for a ceremony, and then all these people gathered together. It looks like it's more than just a casual gathering. There's some kind of ceremony underway or soon to be underway. That's my sense anyway. So it was the shield that's been continuous through all of this investigation, and it's not over. So, along with the Hopi teachings, when I saw this fellow on the left, I just I just burst into laughter because the man on the right, Robert Boissier, wrote the book on the right, The Return of Pahana. And Pahana is the Hopi correspondent to the Mayan feathered serpent. So Roberts, who I befriended on a very amazing journey into New Mexico, he wrote this book explaining how this myth of Pahana fits into the larger picture and how he detected. Well, here, he lived with a Hopi, he married a Hopi, and he participated in their ceremonies. He really took it on as a teaching, which he later developed into an auxiliary Hopi clan called the Banana Clan. He got this in a vision. He would start a clan and it would be called the Banana Clan. And so when I saw this fellow on the left, this traditional grandfather Martin Gashua Sioma wearing a Pahana chief vest, I couldn't help but just, I was so excited that his image with the bananas, Robert and his Banana Clan, like all these things were starting to converge here. And what do we have here? Banana Clan is a term associated with Robert Boissier, a French-born author who developed a deep connection with the Hopi people of northern Arizona. He was affectionately known as Banana Clan within the Hopi community, reflecting his personal integration and respect. And I highly recommend his books here, The Hopi Way, Meditations with the Hopi, and Opaimo. But if you really want to get the current, The Return of Pahana is the one to read. So now, as I was saying, the shield calls us to a common place that I would locate at the root chakra. Well, much to my joy, when we get on the trail of Hunbat's men, the Mayan, to his left in this image is a symbol that the Maya used to represent the root chakra. And this is the same fundamental reference point that we're seeing with Hopi. That's my understanding. And then as Hunbats himself says, for us Maya, the Pahana is Kukulkan, two different names that represent the same symbol. So we've got this, the mystery of the Hopi and their migrations. It's understood by Hunbats and Boissier that this is one and the same archetype, basically, just showing up in different cultural attire. So once again, as long as we're coming back to this grounded four directions place, we're really pulling into this place of unity for all humanity. Pahana is a complex mythic figure, and in his book, The Return of Pahana, Robert Boissier, longtime proponent of Hopi wisdom teachings, suggests that the expected return of Pahana could take many different forms. And what he said was, given the symbolic nature of the Hopi myth of the return, it is interesting to speculate on what form the Pahana might take. Will it be an actual person, an enlightened individual who bearing the stone tablet as unmistakable identification? Or might the Pahana be a collective entity, a group of people inspired by a new light or energy coming from the direction of the rising sun? Further, will the return be the return of respect for the female? And is the yearning by feminists for the return of the goddess also part of this story? Only time will tell. The last word I'm going to give to what is believed to be a Hopi statement. When the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come unto the earth from many colors, creeds, and classes, and who, by their actions and deeds, shall make the earth green again. They shall be known as the warriors of the rainbow.
Mm. Thank you so much. My goodness.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Mm.
Thanks, Dwayne.
So this
Thank you.
wonderful presentation that you've
Mhm.
created and we've been so blessed by, how does the average person access that, or will it be on your website, or?
Well,
Yeah,
everything from this
YouTube.
meeting goes on to that's our video that
Okay,
goes
so
up to I'm posting them on YouTube, Rumble, and BitChute,
okay.
and we've got over 30 videos now of presentations like this.
And I should know this, but I'm just familiarizing myself with everything,
Yeah.
so I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm.
Oh, and it's I don't know if any of you guys have been peeking back at some of our earlier ones, but it's quite a trip. Just to see where we were at, and then just knowing all the changes and explorations we've done. It's been a remarkable journey.
So what did you say, YouTube? So the website, YouTube, and what were the others?
Um, what did I say? Rumble and BitChute.
Okay, never heard of them.
And you put it every time onto the Lightning Path Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, which is actually under my name, and then I've got other videos as well, but I've got a playlist that's specifically our group, and yeah, it keeps track of the numbers. Like there's
Yeah.
maybe 30 or 40 people in the first month see them, but I've
Mhm.
got some of the older versions. They go into the hundreds. It's not a big deal,
Mhm.
but it's there for perpetuity.
Mhm.
And it feels good. I mean, for me personally, this is me. Every time I put one of these together, I'm formulating something as part of my legacy,
Yes.
and I don't know who's going to partake in it, but I know that I'm charged with it's like a spiritual responsibility, I think, to uh, discharge some of our
Mhm.
hard-won wisdom,
Yeah. I heard you saying those were special times. And I just see you as the caretaker of the public park. And that just emerged and kind of go, okay, so the ceremonies and the healing of the earth, and I'm going, well, what happened? And we just need to keep meeting in the park,
Mhm.
and we
Right
need
on.
more and more. And I've always felt that that these caretakers were a bit fragmented. I think there's many, but they're off, all doing their different things. But if somehow magically they all came together, it would be this powerful horse.
And I do think it's the time for it all to come together. And I think everything you've been doing, Dwayne, is preparing that for this time of everybody coming together and making this, I could cry, major shift in consciousness.
Mm.
You know, I cry because it resonates so deeply.
Mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I am a bit of a crybaby. What can I say?
That's okay. That's wonderful.
And
Never-
I laugh a lot too, but no.
Happy cry.
Yes.
Crying's good.
That brings me to I was seeing the 7 as the crown. And if I just change one letter, that makes clown. And to me, it brings in in traveling through the Southwest, Sophie and I would stop in different canyons and places. And behind me is my eagle, Kachina. And I was fascinated by the Kachinas.
Beautiful.
And I saw you had an eagle, Kachina, in your presentation,
Yeah.
as well as Kokopelli's in there,
Yeah.
the sexual trickster. And yeah, their Kachinas were to pass this on to the children. That was their purpose of their Kachina dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Then the
Right.
children learned of the ways through the dolls.
Yeah.
And I've always been fascinated. I've carried that Kachina since I was 19.
Right on.
And I see it as now it's emerged this puppet creating, and that's to me along the same vein.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Sacred work.
Mhm.
But the importance of the clown, and their clowns were a form of policing as well.
Mhm.
And they could run after somebody and scare the heck out of them
Yeah. Yeah.
if they weren't in alignment with what was to be happening.
Yeah.
They got out of line, they sent in the clowns.
That's great.
And what's coming to me is the tarot, and the fool is the jester, the wise one,
Mhm. To almost
um,
stepping off the cliff.
Steve, would you mind bringing your eagle down? Have a closer look.
wow.
Oh,
That was great.
yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
I added the turquoise on his ankle. And the feathers got a little beaten, and then I bought a bag of, here's a Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bought a bag of rainbow colored feathers and redid the feathering.
Wonderful.
It's great.
Mhm.
Well, I have a little eagle story to go with that.
Mhm.
So I connected with Robert Boissiere when I was in Santa Fe, a friend of mine said, I had only just arrived, and she said, "Oh, I'd like to take you out to my friend's place. He's leading a ceremony, solstice ceremony, and we'll be camping out on the land and then climbing up this mountain in the morning. But for the evening, when we got there, Robert had, with some other members of the clan, had prepared the site, and they had this huge cone of firewood. And as he explained, this was a fire to burn away all that is not your essence. You know, that's what we're going to be bringing you into is this experience of fire, and that's its purpose. So I'm new to the desert. I've got my sandals on, and as the fire went up, I suddenly felt this tremendous urge to dance. So I kicked off my sandals, and my toes and feet right into the clay of the desert. A brand new experience for me, you know, in my life. And I just suddenly became animated. Out went my arms, and I had feathers down both arms. And the kachinas were coming in through my line of sight. They were just like dancing right through. And I was just like this. My friend said afterwards, she said, once you started dancing, people turned from facing the fire to facing you and what was happening for you, because everybody could see I'd been like taken over in the moment. And it was incredible. I mean, I came out of that just a new person, really. It somehow, there was a lot of stuff got left behind. You know?
Mhm.
But yeah, and that Kiva, Robert, okay, this is important in terms of the lightning path. When I first got the vision, the lightning path vision, okay, March of 1980 of 86. Yeah, I got it right. I'm getting jumbled up here. But the start of the journey on the hieroglyphic portion of the journey, as I was having that experience, people in New Mexico on Robert's property were building a kiva, a circular kiva, in which they put 72 crystals aligned with the center. And this was like the temple. And wow, what an incredible place he manifested there. So we have, I mean, his residence is off on the other end of the 40 acres or whatever. And then you've got this round kiva nestled into the rock, and then this fireplace, and then a trail that goes right up the mountain. And wow, I got it all. You know, it just over the course of the first few days, I learned so much from him and from the land, and you know, the Hopi message was really strong there. It just was reinforcing my whole connection with Hopi that I'd gotten through the earth healing ceremony. So yeah, just with you bringing out your your eagle there, I had to share that story.
Your Uranus urge to be free, 2517 is possessed.
There you go.
The collective psyche, and that's what I'm feeling. There's this collective that's out there that's so powerful. And it's coming together in divine timing. I don't have to try and rush it or pull it or push it. Or I saw in your video of that signing picture, and on the wall was even a Dhamma wheel with 8 spokes is on
Right on.
there. So there is a way to live. it's conscious. So it's like, yeah, there is a way to act appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
And for some, it's like it's painful to watch when people don't act appropriately, and that's all part of the yin and yang.
Absolutely.
But there's possibly a tipping point sometime, I feel. So, yeah, this is, I'm feeling the Hopi, kind of the Hopi authority showing up.
Mm-hmm.
They have so much wisdom about the earth. And it's, in essence, just in a short period of time, it's gotten out to the rest of the world, like a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff that's emerged hasn't been out for all that long,
Yeah.
or hasn't been brought into the public park. There's a lot more of it showing up. Oh yeah. I was chatting with someone yesterday, and it's like their first connection with energy has happened, and they're just kind of off the wall. And so it's connecting with more and more people. So I just hold that vision. And yeah, the Apus, that's just amazing. That when you showed that picture again, it looks like a nest up there on top, the way it's come down. I mean, it was a shelter, but now it looks like a nest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I discovered my four Apu. I said, where did they go? And I had glued them into a book and forgot where I'd glued them in.
Yeah.
But one is Lyco or Lico. It's in Africa. And it's this steep formation that's impossible to climb. But up on top is a completely untouched rainforest.
Mm.
And it's on a flat surface.
Hmm.
So it's like this protected wilderness, and it's remained the same for ever.
Nice.
And it was just recently accessed. And so it's like, wow, they found things that were newly discovered species and things on top of this Mount Lico. So I guess it would mean the kind of the sign is that there's a lot of wonderful things to still access.
And I'm just picturing the next generation because, we hear a lot of the negative things, but there's this amazing new generation coming, I think, of very aware souls needing to wake up, or some are already awake. I know looking at my grandchildren, they have a wisdom that I sure didn't have at that stage. They're not getting the same spiritual teachings that maybe we got, but some of it, I don't know, I think it's just all going to come and they'll be carrying things forward, I hope.
Yeah.
As you say that, I got a call from my grandson yesterday. We haven't talked for months.
Mhm.
And he apologized for that. And I just said, don't worry. And just talking with him and feeling into his maturity at age 20,
Mhm.
No, I got there maybe when I was 40, you know.
Yes.
And he just spoke so eloquently about his life. And he's got this really tiny little in Calgary, a little artistic what do we call it? Apartment.
Mm.
And he's got this fabulous little niche. He's a climber. He's a championship rope climber and all that. But he's just really got a head on his shoulders. He's really, and he'll climb a straight wall, you know, fearlessly, you know. And yeah, it was just such a great connection.
Straight up the mountain.
Yes. That's about it. He got rid of all that excess stuff along the way, you know. And he's been right. His passion for climbing, it was like when he was 7 or 8, you know, he just grabbed on and he's been up mountains I can't even imagine going up. So,
My oldest grandson is turned 22 on Remembrance Day.
hmm.
Um, and his girlfriend, he met her in Mexico, and she's flown out a couple times. He's been there. And so she was part of a family gathering, and she's just amazing delight. They're just
Nice,
amazing, you know.
nice.
They're way
That's
ahead of
sweet.
the game, I think. Yeah.
Mhm. Wonderful.
Wow.
Hmm.
Ah, he was naked.
Read a book many years ago and I loved the title. It was Little Altars Everywhere. So looking at the backgrounds, it's like little altars everywhere.
Yeah, altar making, that's really a wonderful art as well.
Mhm.
Little altars. Mm.
I will be going into the temple after this meeting with you guys for the full moon ceremony. And they're going to be chanting all their mantras. And it's also Waheguru Day in a way. You know, it's like the guru, the teacher. So you are honoring, this moon is for teachers. And then afterwards you have prasad, it's called. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's like everybody brings something food
Mhm.
um, it's first they serve to the gods and then they bring it to the temple and then they put it on in front of the goddess. And then after the chanting and the praying and the singing, they share the food. And today, after my yoga class, I said to my yoga teacher, "What are you doing?" And she made a pot full of small potatoes. I said, "What are you doing?" "I'm making prasad." She said, "I'm making this food for everybody." And I said, "And you're gonna peel all these potatoes? I mean, why didn't you take big potatoes?" And then she said, oh, you know, Barbara, what you could do? You can participate participate in the group action and peel all the potatoes.
Right, right.
So then
The
you are,
person who comes up with the idea.
and then I said, oh yeah, I can do this. Why not? You know? And I had a nice cup of chai and we were chatting and she showed me some pictures that she's missing all these beautiful women. I mean, these Indian women are so beautiful. They're so full of this divine light still, you know, this nature. And she showed me the pictures where all these women prepare food for prasad. And one are with the onions and the others are with the potatoes. She said, and you would be in this group with the potato peeler. And she didn't give me a knife or anything. She said, oh no, you can peel with your fingers. So they're all finger peeled potatoes. And then
Wow.
she puts it in a big pot with the spices and with tomatoes in there. And it gets really juicy and it has to cook like 4 hours or something, you know, and beautiful. And I have to go in after this meeting. I will join them and then I get my part of the prasad because it has to be staying in the temple while everybody's chanting, like the community. And it's mainly women. Some men are there, sometimes some older men. But it's such a beautiful thing here on Fuerteventura. I never thought I'm going to have an Indian experience like this, you know, having a community, which is like, you know, other people have to go to the Himalayas or somewhere else to have, you know, and I have it just on my plate. And it's like, oh my God, this is wonderful, you know, this is like a wonderful feeling. And to round it up for you guys here in the group, I think this Russian symbol with the serpents, it's also Shiva.
Mm.
And you showed also the Shiva dance, you know, the Shiva with the multi arms is dancing. And Shiva is nature, and we are part of the nature. So Shiva is very happy when we celebrate. Yes, that's him. That's the Shiva dance. And that's exactly what, and we dance in the group as well, you know. It's like, it's so beautiful how they have it still in their bodies, in their soul, and I can have it, you
Yeah.
know. It's like, how did I get there, you know, on a desert island like this? And I can do all these beautiful things, which is like so soul warming, you know. It's like today in meditation, she got me to the point where I always have to see myself. She's saying, you have to see yourself while you have your third eye open. You can see a little figure, and that's you. That's you. That's your soul. You can see your soul. And I thought I also wanted to show you guys a nice mudra or somehow it's, I don't know how it's called, or kriya. You put your hand on your heart and you breathe in and you put the other hand on top of your head and you breathe out through your head. So all the heart energy is aligning with your mind. So you have like the energy goes up out through your head. So it's like, no, it was like, it's not, it's like you don't pull it in, you pull it in when you breathe out. So you have like breathing in, feeling your heart energy, and then you pull your navel in, and then you feel like the energy just goes out your head. So it aligns your heart energy with your mind. And I thought this is so beautiful because we are so out of sync. And when you need it, when there's too much things are happening, our mind starts spinning like free and out of balance. And you can do only this. It's so beautiful. And breathing out through your head. It's like the power goes from your heart into your head.
There you go.
You pump it up. You pump it up, the power from your heart. You pump it into your head, in your crown chakra. And it's such a nice alignment. I thought I'm going to share it with you guys.
Yeah.
So you can practice whenever you want, It's like,
Mhm.
it's so useful. It's like, this is the useful things. Yoga is
Mhm.
life. It's like doing life.
Mm.
And to get this information was so cool. Like, it helps so much to be happy and not worry too much. We are too much in our heads very often. And then we get sick and negative and whatsoever. It's just being out of balance. With this Shiva, with this dance, with this dancing figure, it's like this life we have always to adjust any moment.
Mm.
Right on. Thank you for
Sounds
It's a
that.
good
beautiful.
tool. It's like a tool in the tool.
Mm.
Like Steve knows it. You need good knives, you need a good toolbox where you have like a couple of beautiful things. And I must say,
Yeah.
I'm surprised how beautiful tools the Indian women have.
Mm.
And I'm always surprised all the time. They're surprising me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
celebrate
I can
nature.
hear Sophia saying as long as you use the tools.
Yeah. You have to
Otherwise
remember that you have it.
they rust in the tool shed.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, yeah, you've got all these remedies, but if you don't use them, and
Yeah.
they're useless. So there's such a variety to choose from.
Mm.
And it's also like it can be overwhelming to me. So I take a few that work
Yeah.
and use those
You get what you want. You get what you order.
until I want to use something different.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That everybody gets their own wishes
Mhm.
are fulfilled in a way. And people show up like just the ones which are supposed to be with you. I have this full moon. I always look out of the window. I have this golden full moon just showing right into my face.
Nice.
Oh, it's rising. It's rising
It
now.
is up there in front of me in the window and just talking,
Wow.
energizing me, like really like pumping it up.
Yeah.
It has this light golden energy. It's like, and it's full. It's really not orange. It's like just beautiful, beautiful yellow,
Mm.
Yeah.
light.
Yeah. After that chat I had yesterday with that person who was just new to the energy, we were in the same room, and it was like I was finished speaking and said goodbye, and then I get in the car and I turn left, and all of a sudden the full moon is right there. It's like,
Hey.
yeah,
Yes.
when
Wow.
I can hear you, Barbara, when it suddenly shows up, you go, whoa.
Yeah, this is why I'm talking. I feel like my third eye is like pumping. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, it's beautiful. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's exciting. It's also a process of sensitizing yourself. When I started meditation, no, yoga, I didn't know when she said, "Do you feel this or do you feel that?" No clue. But now with each mudra you're doing, that you just open up a certain space inside of your body and you can go there, it's like, what? Why didn't I know that before? So there's lots of stuff to do.
Yeah.
This is really amazing how beautiful and how young we are as souls on this earth. So it's like this, and maybe we're all working together, like you're saying, Steve, as a community, as a worldwide soul energy to progress, because we cannot progress when not all the parts are cleaned in ourselves. So if some people are doing some weird stuff, we have to clean that out. So we are not disconnected from them. We are not disconnected from evil. Evil is the part of us. So this is what you guys call the shadow. And we have to sort of be nice to the shadow, because the shadow is reminding us of something. Or when people are fighting or something, also in the temple, there were always, Mala always said, oh, they're chatting too much. Instead of singing mantras, they were gossiping. Gossip going on, and it created negative energy, especially being in a temple. It was like stronger even. So I said, why don't you, as a teacher, get them into singing mantras together? So now we are singing mantras and we're dancing. So whatever, it's changed the whole thing. It changed it because we are, and this is the trick the Indians, the Hindu culture is doing, because this is why mantra singing is good, because you are focused on that and you can't think about your neighbors being an asshole, and you want to kill him or you want to do bad stuff to somebody, or you hate somebody. It's not there when you're doing mantras. And that's what the good, they have so many cool tricks to keep you on a spiritual level, and that's what creates Shiva. I think this is like when you have a lot of negative energy, there's very little Shiva. The nature goes away. It disappears. But when you put a lot of positive, like like in a community or people praying together, then the goddess comes. We are creating the gods. We are not creating them, but we are inviting them. Let's say so. That's better. It's an invitation. And she always said, there's always signs, they are into signs. There's like, how the water drops down or how a candle burns out. It's all signs for them, for these women. So that's how we always lived. This is how life was always working like this. Watching the signs and see where we have to go.
Yeah.
And Sari says she looks in her garden. I mean, what better than walking through your garden and seeing what's happening there? It shows you what happens inside of you as well. Because the seeds in there will come back in summer, or now it's going to sleep, but it has to rest and shed all negative energy or whatever they digest down there in the earth. It's great. I mean, it's just great to see things, what's happening. The nature is giving us the mirror effect.
Sounds like you're in the jewelry shop, Barbara.
Yes, I have. It's more in the sweet shop because
Yeah,
this prasad I
creative,
had today
creative
was so
sweets.
good. Oh my God, these Indian sweets are so good. I must have ordered that in my asking from the universe that I want to have all this.
Yeah,
It's really great.
well, it certainly showed up for you.
Yeah, yeah. And we
Yeah.
both Libra, so we have this really mirror effect, you know, whatever she shows me, we are showing things to each other. That's why I had to peel potatoes today.
Mhm.
And it was so sweet, like this round little potatoes, you know, not very big. And I said, "Oh, you cooked that very well because the peel was coming off perfectly."
Pops off. Mhm.
You know, sometimes peeling potatoes can be a pain, but these were so cool. And I bet this is gonna be a nice prasad. Anyway,
I'm getting hungry.
yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the effect now from this Zoom call because I'm just transmitting this beautiful moonshine light right into the Zoom call. You know,
Mhm.
you guys are just getting it before time because you're gonna have it in 7 hours. There's a different time difference of 7 hours. So you're receiving already the moonlight.
Yeah, thank you for being the vessel,
Yeah,
transmitting. We're
yeah,
we're all here basking.
yes. So I hope your full moon, which is coming in 7 hours, are gonna be so beautiful, like mine is gonna be or is right now.
Mhm.
Thank you for you all being here. And
Mhm.
Sari, you look beautiful. You look so spaced out, and you have a crystal there, isn't it? On next to you. Do you have a, sorry,
Hmm? Me?
you have a crystal there.
Oh, that one, yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
belongs to Lauren. I love it. It's huge.
Wow.
yeah, and you are based in that light of this crystal. It's really beautiful. I can see this in your face. I don't know why, but you
Ah,
have this glow of this crystal. It's beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah. I was thinking, where's this light coming in your face from? And it has the same energy like this crystal.
Hmm, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, and maybe put it in the moonlight. I don't know, because this is a very powerful moon, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
on the 19th, Pluto is going into Aquarius, so it's like 4 days
Yeah.
only. And this
Yeah.
is a
The
very
last full
special
moon.
time.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Maybe you can charge it.
I'll tell. I'll
Just an
tell
idea.
I
I was
don't
just,
mess with it.
yeah. I mean, it's like it picks it up anyway, you know. All the stuff is like happening by itself.
Mhm. Mhm.
I see that more and more.
So is that a clear crystal or is it a
Yeah, it's a quartz.
quartz crystal?
Yeah, and it's a big cluster. It's about this big.
It's a cluster. It's like a community.
Yeah,
Yeah. A
It's
community
a
of crystals.
community.
yeah. Mine is way back. It's like I've got a big one from Brazil, but Lauren's is. I love it. It's a big cluster.
Mm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Beautiful.
It's a community gathering there of crystals.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is what we did today with the yellow submarine. We had a beautiful stop and had this presentation from Dwayne.
Mhm.
climbing
Beautiful.
up that mountain and bringing the Hopis in. I really like the Hopi Indians very much as well. I mean, I feel very connected with my favorite name, Shima, which is also a Hopi name.
Hmm.
And
Right
it's
on.
love. It's the name for love. That's what they call or what they feel, which is happening between people. That's love. So it's an energy. They name Shima.
So when did you start using that name?
Not so. I used it before. I always use it. You know why? When I do tarot readings. When I do tarot readings, I'm Shima.
Mm.
When I open myself up to the higher energies, then I'm Shima. So it's like then I'm sort of putting my ego out of the way so people can get information directly without Barbara being in the way. So Shima is and Shima comes through.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
it's nice. I like it. And I also like it when it's a different energy, than Barbara in a way.
And that there's one picture that you usually use to represent her,
Yeah.
which is so wild and yeah.
Yeah, with the tomato.
Yeah.
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 That's great.
Yeah, but I mean, this is everything is temporary. Nothing is, we have to get away from the idea that we hoard things, or we have to make it more simple, everything. Like your nephew already is doing,
Yeah.
I think this is the next way, and that's also the Indians were living like this. I always think about like how beautiful are tents, You can put your tent up and you can also take it down and you can go into another environment, which is like more it's better for you to be in the wintertime somewhere else than in the summertime. So they're moving, and it's also giving you this feeling of not being stuck in one place and hoarding thing. This is like when your basement and your cellar is full of stuff which you're supposed to throw out, but you can't. And then you
Right on.
all this stuff.
Possessed by the possessions.
Yeah, then it's all heavy stuff, and you can't. You don't feel free. This is why Feng Shui is also very good to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing it. Oh my God. I put all like it's horrible. I have so many it's
I'm
so
doing the
many
same
things.
thing. I've
Oh
got
my
all these different
God.
boxes now, and all my stuff is going
I'm
in.
doing it's like, yeah, I want to get rid of some, I'm not buying any presents. I have so many little beautiful things which I made, and I'm just gonna pack it up and put presents out there for everybody. So because it's
Box
like
one, Spence's Bridge, VOK 2LO.
Mm. Yeah.
No, I forget it. I got enough stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
But see, it's all different jewels that we have
Yeah.
as well. And yeah, I look around, I go, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There's jewels everywhere, but that's okay. That's the environment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and an awareness of it. Like I bring something in, I can let something go,
Yeah. If
create a
you're
balance.
disciplined, it needs discipline to be like that.
Yeah.
I can even some boxes. I love boxes. I can't let them go because I love boxes. So,
Mhm.
You're like,
Yeah.
it's horrible. And then there's a stone in there and there's a feather. You know what I found? I even found a toenail of my cat, which died, and a feather of one of
Wow.
my parrots I had, you know. Wow,
Wow.
my God.
Then it's
It's
deciding whether I can let go of that or not.
Yeah, I can't. It has this remember, and whenever I open a little box where there's a feather in there or a nail of a cat I was in love with, so it's like all this energy comes back to me. I think I do it for myself to box it, and then I find the box again while I'm cleaning out and rearranging it. I also found some tarot cards, which my son was painting when he was 6. He was painting
Oh,
cards for me. And I have to do something. I have to put them and take a picture the other day, the next day, because he named all the cards. He did a big job there, and I did not have time. I tell you guys, I did not have time as a mother to really enjoy that gift he made for me. And
Hmm.
now I'm going to finally make it digital and also honor each card he made.
oh, beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah. So they're so beautiful, and some round ones with monsters and written what kind of monster it is, and you know, it was so soulful. It was so, oh my God. What did he want to talk to me? What he wanted to show me there? So he knows all these things, what I was doing. He knew.
Hmm.
So maybe I'm who I am because I have a son like that. Well,
Yeah, he showed up.
we never know how everything is sort of connected. I think to start thinking in a different way is also very important, and not see it just in linear form.
Mhm.
And it's going to make a big difference for all of us.
Mhm.
So you guys, we're past our 2-hour limit.
Oh, finally, I can go.
Yeah,
Jeez.
fun. Sounds
Get my
great.
food.
Well, I'm gonna go work on my clown chakra.
Yeah.
That's my
Thank
plan.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank you.
Thank you, everybody,
Yeah,
very much.
happy full moon.
Happy
Enjoy
full
it.
Hasta pronto. Hasta pronto. Ciao.
Bye. Love you.
Ciao.
Love you all.